2023 meeting of the Board of County Commissioners, also known as Tiffany and Tina's last commission meeting. Do I have a motion on the Clerk General?
So moved.
Yes.
Yes, and there are some requisitions.
I move to accept the requisitions.
And Jess?
Yes. Tina, do you have anything to add?
I do. I have a resolution for consideration not on the consent agenda. It's a resolution to approve a supplemental appropriation into general fund and operational transfers into the Tourism and Economic Development Support Fund 2213.
So moved.
And yes.
Yes. Anything else?
I have some add-ons,
Okay.
and we may even have some come in that have to be added because this is the last meeting of the year. The first resolution is an appropriation adjustment within Building and Zoning Fund 1101-2300.
So moved.
Yes.
Yes.
Have a resolution to establish January 2nd at 9 a.m. as the time and date for the annual organizational meeting.
So moved.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution to approve the reclassification of Brian Philip Bomer from Data Systems Technician 2 to the position of Data Systems Technician 3 within Telecom.
So moved.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution to accept the resignation of Alex Wicker, Information Systems Analyst within Telecom.
So moved.
Yes.
Yes.
And a resolution to approve a supplemental appropriation into Health Insurance Fund 6632.
So moved.
And yes.
That's all that I have.
Great. So the next item we have is a work session with Martin on our 2024 annual appropriation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tiff and I were a little different there. I said I wanted to be more in front versus side to side, but she scolded me for that. But
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just like to sit over here
I-
and be up close and.
Personal?
In touching distance,
That's right, that's right.
kicking distance.
That's right, that's right. So as Tina said, and Commissioner Jones here to put in front of you resolutions to approve the, oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were already brought out. Apologize. Approve the resolution for the 2024 budget. The 2024 annual budget for the general fund for its appropriation requests sets at $89,924,000. The target that was given to us as staff was 4%. That number comes in at 4.5%, so we're 0.5% above. The 2024 annual budget, all revenue anticipated is actually $93,692,000. So we're anticipating bringing in a little less than $4 million more than what is appropriated. When you add all the funds together, special, capital, enterprise, debt service, Rotary, the total budget is $316,656,000. In years past, we break that down. We've done that as well as kind of where those dollars go, specifically for the general fund. For that, roughly 57% of that is for public safety. Roughly 41% of that is for general operations, and then the rest is for miscellaneous social service, and then also for the general fund, there is zero debt service. As I said, it's 4.5% over the 2023 appropriations. Some factors for that 0.5% is we still are facing some wage pressures for entry level, but probably more for certified personnel or specific personnel with skill sets in the tech fields. Some operational expenses, energy, supplies, vehicles. One item, obviously, just on a personal note, seeing some of the gas prices, so we're hopeful that might carry over to things that we need to, light up buildings and things of that nature. One thing that Commissioner Jones specifically asked for was kind of our cybersecurity and just security in general when it comes to our telecom and IT. If you were to pull out some of the investments that we're looking for, in 2024, it actually would take the general fund down to 3% over last year. Some other items that we're looking at is kind of just where we're ending in 2023 as far as how strong we are. At the end of 2023, from a revenue perspective, we only have through November. We are actually at 114% of anticipated. So we anticipated 90 million last year, and we're already sitting at 103 with December still yet to go. Some other items as far as strength is concerned. I'm not sure if she's in here, but Michelle Tagemeyer just gave me some new data that they're up over $300,000 in money they received for permits. We're actually up 500 permits over 22, capping out of about 3,100. Investment income, we are actually up over 5 million more than we were in 2022, setting at 8.2 million in investment income. Sales taxes continues to be up. In 2022, we received a little over 53 million, and we're anticipating anywhere between 54.5 to 55 million for this year. So again, through November, our revenue is at 114%. Our expenditures are at 79%. And I think, Commissioner Young, you say this quite a bit. We receive more than anticipated, spend less than what's budgeted. Some things that we continue to sit there and do is set aside money for the infrastructure bank. We had a 5-year commitment. Originally, it was $7 million for 5 years at $35 million. We did the 7 for the first year, then we bumped it to 10. So this is the last year of that 5 years, which will put in $47 million into the infrastructure bank. We have the rainy day fund, which was established in 2020. It is still sitting there. From a carryover perspective, it's anticipated that cash on hand will be $65.7 million. That does include the $12 million that we have in the rainy day fund and some encumbered cash that would carry forward. So unencumbered cash that we will look to have at the end of 2023 is $49.4 million. That takes into account the transfers. You did one transfer earlier today, or just did on the agenda. But that's road and the infrastructure, normal capital, telecom infrastructure, and the tourism fund that you established. So very strong, I think, going into 24, not only for what we did in 23, but I want to thank a lot of the folks that are standing behind me that listened to your direction and worked really hard with us to present this to you. Any questions?
Excellent. I want to thank you and all the department heads for all of the work that you did to bring this budget in. I think it's a really fiscally prudent budget that continues the tradition that we have on behalf of Ohio taxpayers and Warren County taxpayers, I should say. And so we appreciate the work that you've done. We know it's been months in the making, and that it comes here kind of at the last step for approval. Any questions?
The only thing that comes to mind is, Sheriff, remember back the last time we did something on pretrial services? Remember when the commissioner spent more than was asked for because we saw a problem and we said, hey, here, this might be a solution, and we spent a lot more than what was asked. So I appreciate Commissioner Jones asking for what would the budget look like without this cybersecurity stuff. The cybersecurity stuff is a big deal. We know we're getting attacked, and so in this inflationary environment where this inflation was thrust upon us out of DC, that to have a budget that goes up 3% in this environment, then the add-ons, I believe that's what you said, correct?
It was correct. It was, yeah. If you peeled those out, we would have presented a 3%, and that adds it up to.
Yeah, so literally, thank you to the department heads, the other elected officials, at a 3% budget increase in this environment. I know we did some adjustments last year to, especially with wages, to recognize that so many of you folks and your employees were really feeling it, and we understood that you were feeling it and did a lot of adjustments over the last year. But to have the budget increase at this level, to have the budget in such good financial shape, we could go and do some of the investments we did in our one global asset and protecting that and have that accounted for inside of the budget without breaking the bank. I appreciate your efforts. I appreciate Tiffany teaching you all the secret sauce and the tricks to the trade to get us to this point.
No, and I appreciate those comments and very much appreciate what Tiff and Tina have done for me on a personal level, but also what they've done for those that are standing behind, because that's one of the items that we really wanted to sit there and push down for them to understand not only their specific budgets, but how it plays in the totality of what you have to approve on an annual basis. And so I think while I've been learning, I've been trying to push that for them to sit there and learn, and I think as a collective, we've done pretty well with that.
I do just want to say one thing. As I've been reflecting I looked back at the first budget I ever helped prepare. That was in 1987, and the general fund budget was $11.1 million in 1987. So we've come a long way, baby. It's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you so much.
So I think Tina has a resolution if you're prepared to authorize.
Is it the, we make a motion to approve the 2024 annual appropriations for funds 1,101 to 6,650?
Yes.
I make a motion to.
And I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Grossman?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you very
all
much.
very much.
I do have some add-on
Okay.
a second consent agenda for
Okay.
budget-related
Yes.
consent agenda. If you have had an opportunity to review that,
I have.
Was that in the front, Tina?
it's behind number 2.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking
Behind
at it.
the budget resolution is the second consent agenda.
This
there
is-
it is.
yeah, this
here's
is
the
the-
list.
Well,
That's
there's a
second.
whole series
Yes.
of
Yes.
different resolutions. Do we have to?
If you just want to make a motion on the
On all of
budget
them, or-
consent agenda,
all right,
then
I'll
we'll
make a
do it just
motion
like
that-
the regular one.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the budget-related consent agenda.
And yes.
Yes. Anything else?
Come in.
Okay, we have a public hearing. Thank you, Martin. Neil,
Exactly on time.
right at 9:15, you're bringing forward a consideration of a road name change from Northwood Creek Drive to Winding Creek Boulevard in Clear Creek Township.
That's probably why all these people are here.
I thought they were here for me. They were actually here for Mark. Wow.
Bruce saves his best work until year end.
I know.
Lets him fly.
Well, I'm here today. It was, we've got a road name change for a subdivision street in Villages of Winding Creek. Was brought to our attention by a discrepancy by the person at ODOT that oversees the road records that are used for determining how much townships and the county get for the gas tax. It's this particular person, I can't remember her name, Erin, she noticed that a particular street had been dedicated as Northwood Creek Drive, was actually signed as Winding Creek Boulevard, and I don't know if I have the, I don't know if I sent you the drawing, but I'll show it to you. This is a section of road that we're changing. This is Northwood Creek Drive, and this is Winding Creek Boulevard. It was signed Winding Creek Boulevard, but the records show that this was dedicated as North Creek, Wood Creek Drive. So there are only 2 lots that actually bound on that, and they're not buildable lots. They're owned by the HOA. These lots are already addressed to, they're known addresses, but they do front Winding Creek Boulevard. Yep, so
Officially not that big of a deal.
it's not, it's just a paperwork thing. So we have a cause for changing the road name. We sent notices out to the Homeowners Association for the Villages of Winding Creek and haven't heard anything from them. In our opinion, there's no detriment to the public for making this change, and it should be named, changed just for the sake of clarifying the records. So
That
it's
seems,
about 200 feet. It's
so
not
there's
much.
good cause and it's not detrimental to the public interest, seems prudent.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion to close the public hearing?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Assuming no one else wants to speak on this subject? It would have been better if you would have named it like Tiff and Tina Way. But I'll closing this.
Yes. And is there deliberation on the matter? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we adopt the name change.
And second?
And roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Grossman?
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. And the next street, we'll look at naming Pipitine Way.
Okay.
Gee, thanks.
Thanks, Neil. Merry Christmas.
We're having a big ribbon cutting here
Yeah.
in about an hour, so hope to see you down there.
Tiffany or Martin, do you have anything addition?
I do not. I just want to,
Well,
thank you. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
You're not getting off that easy.
Yeah.
What?
I just want to say it's been good. Thank you.
That's it?
I can't say it.
I want to hear what some of your, give us a couple of highlights. We're not going to let you out that easy. You guys have been here
I
doing
gave
this.
you my highlight,
I know.
11.1 million. That was highlight.
I mean, there's been some really interesting
There's
things that you've
there's
seen.
been some really interesting stories.
Give us a couple of highlights, a couple of lowlights.
The ones that you can share in a public meeting.
None of the ones we could share happened over here. They
Yeah,
all
in the
were, they were all in the old
All in
building.
the old building. Let's see, you want funny or like?
It's your-
Commissioners
It's
fighting
your
or
choice.
threatening to
No.
fight in the
Well,
parking lot.
I will say in our old building, I'll tell you, I was pregnant with my first child, who's just turned 32 in October. And we were in the middle of the Procter & Gamble rezoning hearings. Well, that's when we did Deerfield Township zoning. The room was very small, but it was packed full. And it was a Thursday night, and it was probably about, I'm gonna say about 8:30 at night. We've been there since 5. It was storming like crazy. And this old room, in the meeting room, it was old tile floors, and it was in the basement of a 2-story building, and it was just raining like crazy, and we had our bench was just a bunch of old wood desks that were all pushed together, and then it had a little side desk for the county administrator, and it leaked. The building leaked. So there's this giant puddle underneath my chair, and I'm probably, 8 months pregnant, and all of a sudden Mike Kilburn jumps up in the middle of the hearing and said, "Teens, I think your water broke." It did not. Just the building leaking. But that's probably one of the
Yeah, that's a funny
highlighted
one.
stories.
We've seen a lot of change.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started, our population was, 90,000 people. We're now up to, 250, almost 260, and $11.1 million to almost $90 million in a general fund budget is sometimes unfathomable to me that it's grown that much in 37 years. It's mind blowing. I've seen a lot of change, all for the good. I've worked with a lot of great commissioners, long-term commissioners, which has been a blessing that it hasn't changed frequently. It's just it's kind of surreal. I've watched people over the years retire, Dave Gully or my, some of my mentors that I've had over the years. And I thought, oh, that must be nice. Well, there's one I've known forever. She knew me before I worked for the county. I had lost my train of thought. I'm old. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is time to go. I mean, really, it is. No, just a lot of great people, but the county commissioners as a whole have shaped every, I grew up here really. I really did, and to, shape my conservative approach to things. I credit that early on to the commissioners that we had back then. And to continue that legacy is, you know, I'm extremely happy about that. I've loved working with Bruce.
You're the only one.
Hey, I get you, because people don't like to work with me either. So, you know, we connect that way. So, but yeah, and all these great people. Yeah, I mean, I truly hope you know. It's really them. It's not me. It's them. They are true public servants. And they will continue to serve you extremely well. Great elected officials, the sheriff, our recorder, Linda, she knew me when I was in high school, reporting for the paper. And then we worked together at the paper for a little bit of time at the Western Star. Judge Jeff Kirby. I've known him forever. He also worked at the Western Star when I first came into the workforce. So I was driving down Silver Street the other day, and I actually remember pulling up to the side of the street and getting out and going into my interview in the county commissioner's office. And it was a nice memory. It really was. Grateful. Blessed.
Well, that's all really sweet and all, but I also have lunch on Tuesdays with Tina and Tiffany, and for the last year, after our commission meeting, she'd be like, 35 more Tuesdays, 22 more Tuesdays.
One less Tuesday. One less.
So
I will have to say I don't really appreciate the cameras because, you know, I'm kind of always like, my hair looks kind of fluffy today. Yeah. Boy, that's an ugly color on me. I need to change that.
well, we sure appreciate both of your leadership very much, and while we know we are in very good hands, in large measure because of your fine leadership and tutelage, we sure will miss you around the office. So, hoping that our Tuesday lunches tradition might not be in your schedule to be every Tuesday, but I hope we continue that tradition.
We'll just be drinking. You will not. So that's okay. But yes, I feel 100% confident in Martin and Susan's ability to lead this forward. You know, they're making a great team, like Martin and I did. So I look forward to seeing what you two do.
And Crystal's gonna do a great job.
Crystal's
gonna
out.
do
Yeah.
a phenomenal job for you all. And she has our numbers if she has any questions. Then we're around.
I might
so.
come in and just sit in the back and heckle you guys sometime. I'll have to look at the agendas and see what's the.
You wouldn't be the first one.
So.
Sat through a lot of those too.
Well, we'd like to kind of keep this very last Tuesday meeting going really long so it's memorable. But
Oh, it's memorable.
we do have coffee and donuts in the conference room, so we'd love for you all to come and maybe another little gift for you. Tom or Dave, anything before a motion to adjourn?
No, just want to thank you all. It's been a lot of fun. It's been enjoyable having such professionals,
I appreciate that.
and kept us in line, and kept telling me when I couldn't do something that I wanted to do.
And that's the hard part, but I absolutely appreciate the ability to be honest. You know, you are the ultimate decision makers. I've 100% embraced that over the years. You know, but you don't pay me to be a yes person. You know, you tell me, or you pay me to help you through the process. Bruce always, you know, he doesn't tell you what you want to hear either. So I've appreciated being able to do that and not have somebody be mad because I've done that. So I do appreciate that.
Well, you were a professional and you knew your business, and you've always done a great job, both you and Tina. So thank you so much. We're going to miss you, you know that.
Thank
Ms. there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn to donuts and coffee and.
Should I look at my
Yes.
hair one last time?
Tina, you ran these meetings for so long. I want you to give it the last